Good Tuesday morning. It is March the 17th, 2026. This is Pastor Robbie coming to you with another Trucking with the Pastor video this morning. Just a little south of Wyers Cave, Wyers Cave, Virginia, which is exit 235 on I-81 North here. And heading to Lynchburg now. I got my first delivery done and heading for my second delivery in Lynchburg, which is about an hour and 40 minutes away. Sitting here in the rest area here along the highway, getting ready to jump back on the big road, reading from one of my favorite books, The Pursuit of God by A.W. Tozer. One of the best Christian writers that I like to read. John Maxwell is another, Rick Warren another. But Following Hard After God is chapter 1, and it comes from Psalm 63 verse 8. My soul followeth hard after thee, thy right hand upholdeth me. It says Christian theology teaches the doctrine of prevenient grace, which briefly stated means this, that before a man can seek God, God must first have sought the man. Before a sinful man can think a right thought of God, there must have been a work of enlightenment done within him. Imperfect it may be, but a true work nonetheless, and the secret cause of all desiring and seeking and praying which may follow. We pursue God because and only because He has first put an urge within us that spurs us to the pursuit. No man can come to me, said our Lord, except the Father which has sent me draw him. And it is by this prevenient drawing that God takes from us every vestige of credit for the act of coming. The impulse to pursue God originates with God, but the outworking of that impulse is our following hard after Him. And all the time we are pursuing Him, we are already in His hand. It said there in Psalm 63 verse 8, thy right hand upholdeth me. It says that prevenient grace is a theological concept that was rooted in Augustine theology. It is divine grace that precedes human decision. It exists prior to and without reference to anything humans may have done. As humans are corrupted by the effects of sin, prevenient grace allows persons to engage their God-given free will to choose the salvation offered by God in Jesus Christ, or to reject that salvific offer. And so that is A.W. Tozer, The Pursuit of God, part of chapter 1. It's a little too lengthy to read all of chapter 1, so we're going to read that portion today and pray God to add the blessing to the travel and to the reading of His portion of His scriptures that were there in the, chapter 1 that we read there. And as I attempt here to put the phone in the window, it is a very brisk 25 degrees here in the Shenandoah Valley of Virginia. After a very nervous day yesterday with the storms and everything that they were predicting to move into our area, we thank God for His protection. We thank God for His mercy. And we thank God for another day of life. And we appreciate how the Lord has brought us here this morning. It was a uneventful trip up today, and we came up by the airport. And when we got to the north side of PTI there in Greensboro, I started seeing gas prices that were $3.79 this morning. First time I've seen them in those numbers consistently. After I crossed the Virginia line, that dropped to $3.49. I've been seeing some $3.30s, but gas bike with the conflict over there ongoing in Iran. And so we pray that that starts to turn around, because it affects everything as far as our economy goes. So it affects our every household budget. As we're jumping on I-81 South, it's about 10 miles down here, and we'll hit I-64 to the east towards Richmond and pick up 29 South. That is our destined route this morning. Lynchburg will be about 2.5 hours from home when we get our next stop off, so hopefully we'll be off on time today. Is what we're praying and believing for. Yesterday just had a Thomasville, and it took a little while to get that ready, so we need to get it over and get it delivered. low 40s and cold. Possibly a little cooler up this way, this far north. And then tomorrow about the same, and then we'll start warming it up to about 60 on Thursday, and then heading for the mid-70s this upcoming weekend, moving back towards spring as the first day of spring is Friday, I believe. Spring is finally sprung, or it's in the process of springing, I should say. Been a long winter. Well, winter time is on its last leg here, and we'll be done with it fairly shortly. Be on to spring, and summertime follows. My favorite time of the year, summertime. It's a little uncomfortable in the summer like it does with the cold in the winter, but spring and fall are two of the best times of the year with temperatures right in the middle ground. We really seen some heat last week. It was early, but we had a temperature at 86 degrees one day last week. There were some temperatures around us in the 90-degree range, so we've seen some incredible heat already in this pre-spring time of year. Just following hard after God that A.W. Tozer writes of. It's the same way that we pursue everything else in this life. We go after our careers and our jobs, and we pursue that with everything that we have so we can be successful or be thought to be successful. So why shouldn't we pursue God with the same determination and build the Church of Jesus Christ in the same way with the same determination to follow hard after God? To seek Him with our whole heart, mind, body, and soul, and spirit. And that's what Scripture instructs us to do. Woodrow Wilson Presidential Library and Museum at the next exit here. Looking over at the water tower to my right, it says Stanton on it with the mountains in the background. Very beautiful painting on that water tower. I wish I had a picture of that. Shenandoah National Park. Skyland Drive is the exit coming up as well. it said 109. Get you fooling with. I don't think it saves you that much time either. 96 miles behind us here. That's to the West Virginia line going towards Beckley and Charleston. than I have the last place that I went there. It's been a while since I've been up here to the Wyers game. Highway 250. School is at this exit. with us on Trucking with the Pastor here on March 17, St. Patrick's Day 2026.